dude was like, just because I sucked one dick doesn't mean I'm gay. Fucking move the cow once.
This is a good time to start.
Yeah, right.
That's a really good segue into the stream is live.
Is this Cold Pizza?
This is Cold Pizza.
Episode 2?
Yes. Or 1. Are you recording?
Yeah. Depending on how much of posterity
we're recording
we
locally
on
now. I'll double check before we go.
Like a cat playing with a wadded up receipt over here. I've got a cat brain. We saw a sign on the way to breakfast that said "Pussies beware," and I was like, "Oh, too bad."
We're saving it locally, so good.
Oh, thank Christ, because this is what I want to watch later. It's my own discomfort and shame.
Yes, I see bio.
This will be nice. People are gonna be like, "Oh, how was your trip to Iceland? What did you do?" No, but there's video evidence of certain events. I'll watch that.
Okay, so hey,
Good morning.
Yeah, well, probably
hello from Iceland.
Fuck.
All right, so night 2 for some of us from Iceland. A little bit more haggard from our first appearance. I don't know if you guys caught last night's broadcast, but
apparently we woke Lucius up.
That was only
all the
8
emails.
hours ago, like 9 hours ago. Like, wasn't that long ago? Yeah.
yeah. So we're back for Friday of Fanfest, and so with who we have right now, we have Sardcade, Squeebles, Biohazard. We have Lucky over here from You Hurt. We have Toss over here from. We have extra rivals coming in from here. We have a lot of the You Hurt guys that I just kind of trickle in right now. So I accidentally set my alarm this morning with the under the impression that these assholes would actually want to get up for Fanfest. But
if you were gonna set an alarm, like, wouldn't you at least set it for the eclipse? No, it was just 10 a.m.
No.
Fuck Swift, that's why.
And then I don't know how you walk because you got the balls big enough to come in there and be like, hey, get up. You must waddle around like.
I was coming down the stairs and he goes, "Did I wake CEO?" I was like,
And did
I
you
don't
say
give a fuck. I was like, I'm not waking him.
For the record, the answer to that is no. No, you don't wake me up.
Yeah.
It's like Avicii said, or David Guetta, "Don't wake me up." That song was written about me. And but yeah. So me and Swiv end up exchanging some sort of homoerotic jokes at the top of the stairs. Standard fare, worth mentioning. And then we go to bed at like 5:30. Well, I don't really remember. With the way I feel right now, many things could have been done to me. We went to bed at like 5:30, 5:45 a.m. And then Sard comes in like, "Hey buddy, it's 10. You're gonna miss Fanfest." Like, Sard, I didn't come here for fucking Fanfest. I came here for this. So I just went to eat breakfast. Several of us did, in fact, again at Pricketh, and I'm going back to sleep. And then if Fanfest happens for me, it happens. I'm going to show up at the Worlds Collide tournament with like one eye sort of glued shut by my own fluids and just be like, hey.
Worlds Collide starts at 5 o'clock. He may make it. We'll see.
So I have to check in.
He needs to prep.
I have to check in with Gargant at 3. We have a round table at 4, and then
I don't expect you to be at that round table at all. You're probably going to be like,
well, get ready, bitch, because I will be there. I'm not gonna
nodding off at Gargan's shoulder.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be up at the top again with my signature dry heat. So what I think is great about the streaming community. No, but hey, to my credit, I don't sound as bad as we all thought I would sound.
Yeah.
So that's. I didn't. What?
Let me have any cigarettes. I can't do it. It's gonna ruin my voice for tomorrow. This pristine broadcasting voice that I protect.
This velvety tenor that I carry with me at all times.
And you're outside like, don't tell me whether or not I can smoke. Damn it, I'm a man. I'll make my own decision.
In fairness, that was all implied with the facial expression. I wasn't actually shouting that in the streets of Iceland.
No, I think you were.
Is that how you remember the evening? Me just standing in the.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. So I remember the gin with honey and
Oh, we
Yes.
so racist against Indian.
That was actually caught
No.
on video.
we should have just not done the fact he was Indian was irrelevant. The fact he was a terrible salesman was the joke. We both just did the Indian accent because that's how we remember it.
That's how it happened. But don't pretend like that didn't make it a little bit funny. Would it have been the same if his English was good?
This is the plan today. Some of us are going to be heading over to Harpa for Fanfest.
He's bringing it back.
I'm probably going to be heading over there after this.
Yes.
I guess Biohazard's going to be heading over there.
Yes,
Yeah, some
I
of
will
the
be
you heard
going.
guys, some of the other you heard guys are going to try to nap. I guess get a power nap before the.
I probably won't.
You may as well just head over.
I know.
Yeah, at this point. So I guess all of us are going to be heading over.
Bashing me with a table.
Pretty soon after.
Give him the chair.
Where's the you heard?
Where's
Get a sticker.
WWE-esque over here.
Where's the what? What are you reading?
Karka, where's the you heard hat? The one I'm assuming the one that Parker made.
Oh, it's at home.
Yeah.
I didn't want to bring it here and get it smelling like whiskey and shame, so I left it at home.
Where it smells like whiskey.
Shame.
No, where it smells like gin
needs-
and shame.
So did you get ice in the end? I saw the tweets.
Yes.
That guy literally brought a tray of ice with him, and I was like, you motherfucker, you're a beautiful man. I was worried about the ice situation, but I sure as shit wasn't hiking 10 minutes to Hull's hotel to like get a bucket of ice and like run down the street trucking
We're
over my ice.
definitely okay with Thekla hiking. Getting some ice.
You have to pay your dues. We all paid to be in this house. Thekla is a guest, and when you were a guest, you bring gifts. Now, 8 ice cubes turned out to be sufficient. But if we needed ice and there was one man that we had to send, it had to be the odd man out.
No. You heard's not competing. What is happening is that this guy over here, Sir Squeebles, he will be commentating for the Worlds Collide tournament that's going to be happening at 5 o'clock GMT. He's going to be doing that with commentating with Lastel from Gunswarm.
I'm going purely onomatopoeia. Like, oh. That's one of them. By the way, T. Toothy says, why is he behind the cam? He cracked me up. And that's you. That's you, buddy. And I don't want you to miss out on that just because you're hiding that beautiful mug of yours behind the laptop.
I'm not hiding anything, someone's got to sit back.
That is true, but as soon as you walked in, you took that seat and you knew.
I know that place.
And it's in first class, as I'm guessing how that joke's
But yeah.
CO has 3 new mail messages.
But yeah, so as far as yesterday when we had we had a fantastic dinner at Koi or Kol. Traditional Icelandic foods. I would assume it was fantastic food. It was one of the best meals I've had. That was great.
I don't remember us increasing anything.
We did.
So then we went a little bit of bar hopping. Went over to Lebowski's bar.
No, he wants us
had a
to
whole bunch of White
decrease.
Russians. These guys won a bunch of drinks, and then the end result of that was what you saw last night as the hot pizza show
He's saying he's
over
not gonna use
here,
it
over at
all
my
tax
stream. Then we moved over to
17%.
CO's stream.
Fix
The
it.
reveals yesterday for the keynote, kind of lackluster.
Yeah, what reveals?
Exactly.
That's not where our inside source from CCP would have.
We spent some time.
Are you
like,
still on that?
No, I didn't talk about it at all at breakfast this morning.
So after the fact, we spent time talking to several of the devs in the lobby, and we were kind of like, secretly a little disappointing. And they were like, no, not really. And Swift got into it with somebody, and we're like, we should leave. Yeah, so my whole thing, and a point that was raised, there were 2 really good points that sort of complement each other, is that 60% of, well, not 60, maybe that's exaggerating. 50% of that presentation was about things you can buy that are sort of ancillary purchases to your EVE experience. Which is cool, don't get me wrong, but not really a keynote thing.
No.
More like an announcement, like, by the way, and right before this next presentation starts, look at this giant fucking floating Nix. We're gonna sell this bastard. And then I would be like, yes, now bring on the content.
Yes.
So that's a thing. But the consideration that we made, that a couple of people we talked to while we were still at Harpo brought up, was like, and even Swift brought up, was with the new release cycle and them releasing content all the time, there's less to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, with the 2 releases a year, like, you can fucking hype some stuff. Like, you can get T-shirts printed, blah blah blah. But when they're casually just sort of putting things out, and it gets to a point, it used to be to read the patch notes. Like, you had a guy in your corp that was the guy that read the patch notes, and then everyone else got the update from them. Like, nowadays, because they come out so often, like, that guy's just like, oh fuck, I don't know. Like, I read Cryus.
I have a life.
Yeah.
I was actually at the beginning of that when Seagull went over all the features that have been out since they started the new type of releases. I didn't even realize it was that much. I'd known, but it was amazing to know that all those had come just from these new types of releases.
Yeah. So it was tough for them to. There's no way, I don't think, in terms of a big reveal. I think it's very unlikely, as long as they stay on this development.
The only
cycle.
thing they've had with Carolyn Starr at the keynote, we were only there for the keynote. That's it. That's all we were there for. Was a video that they released. I guess it wasn't even. It was just, I guess, the Fanfest trailer.
Yeah.
I guess.
Where they had a sleeper ship sucking up a player corpse, and I immediately thought, the fucking drifters, they're made of people. They're made of players. So
Soylent Green, yeah.
Soylent players.
See, I thought what they were gonna do is, like, they were going to scoop up corpses,
Yeah.
and then have them become sleeper pilots
Well,
that are capable of flying things, like, based on the SP of the corpse that they just scooped. So I'm, like, flying around, and I'm like, oh man, you know, there's Swiv's sleeper agent, and then I'm like, holy
that's
shit,
awesome.
it's Arcade sleeper. And then suddenly I'm just fucked.
Like,
right
the
in
only way
place.
to fight them is to use Brave.
I'm thinking kind of like a Dark Link.
It's where they're like all like
Link,
kind of
Dark
falling
Link.
apart and the low SP.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would want to live in that wormhole.
Yeah.
That would be very exploitative.
Yeah.
Question: that whole star thing, that's still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still there apparently.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a space goat suit.
Like, couldn't they have just maybe?
I did
given
hear
us
that
a-
actually.
Given us a. Couldn't they have given us a little more information on that, maybe?
Well, the trailer and
they're getting
the
it.
trailer came out, and then we didn't discuss at all the implication.
It was just like,
Yeah.
oh, and here's this.
And
Okay,
by the way,
moving on.
for the several $1,000s you spent flying to Iceland, we have this YouTube video. Please enjoy.
Which we will show to you twice. We are not
Free of
fools.
charge. No, I'll be honest. I was pretty significantly disappointed with that keynote.
Yeah.
But again, that's not to say I didn't enjoy going.
No.
But my expectations were in a place that was very far removed from what happened.
Pretty much the message that we're getting from the developers we talked to. It's like, if you didn't get enough details, well then tomorrow go to the round tables.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So apparently there is a significant amount of detail available for a couple of those subjects.
Yes.
And one of the things we talked about is the time allocation was very poor. The statistics I thought were great.
Yeah.
Everyone else
That was
everyone
enjoyable.
else seemed a little lukewarm, but I
No,
said that
well,
was
here's the thing.
Oh,
though.
no.
I thought they were very good. I wasn't expecting them to be like the headline of the presentation, which is kind of what they ended up being.
Well, I mean, it's
the
I
most
thought it-
interesting part. You
Right.
mean?
It was supposed to be kind of
Like,
like
The
like,
hottest shit they
the
had to
advertising?
give was
the hottest shit that they had.
the structure stuff.
yes.
Yeah.
And like the entire thing that we got thrown at us. Well, if you want more detail, go to the round tables. Is pretty weak. 'Cause, I mean that's what they had to offer was structures.
They didn't whet my appetite enough to get me to go to the
Yeah.
round table. That's my thing. Is
I'm not
if they
convinced
were
that
like,
they really have substantial information to share.
I mean,
well,
what
you can
from
only
what was
find
being-
out by going to
what
the
was being
round
thrown.
table.
Yeah, what was being thrown around is like super exciting stuff.
Potentially.
I mean, they're talking about like information
But
structures. They're talking about for like
I can
local
also
intel,
be like,
map intel.
in the next 2 years, I'm going to make you a meal that's so fucking good. And
Yes.
you're like, oh, what is it? And you're like, it's gonna be so good. You're gonna fucking love it. It will change your life.
Yes.
You're like, yeah. I
Yes.
mean, but like,
I'm gonna have some
what's gonna?
protein,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have some
Give me
vegetables.
some
Probably gonna be some
deliverables here.
carbohydrates, and I still won't give a flying fuck. I'm not gonna make reservations at that restaurant because now if you're like, oh, I will make some eel and I will smoke it in
The funny thing
applewood
is, though, we
bacon
did kind
fat.
of make reservations at that restaurant based on exactly that.
Like,
Oh, this
like
is a really good meal.
the only real reveal that we got was the mock-up of fitting heavy missiles to a Stargate,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
was cute, but
actually not going to happen.
Well, and again, the
hope
time
it
allocation
does.
was weird.
Well, weaponizing a gate, your own gate, that sounds really cool.
yeah.
Okay, the art book, pretty cool, and there was a lot there to
Yes.
discuss about the
that
sort
was
of
neat.
the sort of inane stuff. Like it had somebody's ex-girlfriend's phone number in it. Like I didn't feel any of that was wasted time. I thought it was kind of a cool presentation. Given the success of the last book, I felt like it was nice.
Yeah.
The Rifter.
Yeah, that was cool. That die cast. I thought it was cool. I'm not saying
Just fucking put it in the store.
Yeah.
I didn't come to the keynote.
It can come painted or unpainted. And if you're like a Warhammer fan, you can get yours in plain aluminum.
Well, we did learn there's a lot of Warhammer fans at CCP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just didn't give a flying fuck, and I looked at Swiv at a certain point.
The ghost fitting was neat.
The ghost fitting was
I,
neat.
I was really kind of torn up.
But
She
again,
had
it
a round-
wasn't discussed.
Another thing.
No,
that,
it
you know, a
wasn't.
little more
It wasn't
detail.
discussed. And the really shitty part about it, like the only time that they're really gonna be discussing this was before the fact. It's not gonna repeat it. Like Arker's not gonna be repeating that to any of the players after the fact. It's all of us assholes that got up at like 12 o'clock and then got lunch were missed out on all the actual discussion on it.
Yeah, and
But it does look really awesome.
That's a simple thing. So like, if you'd switched the roles of ghost fitting and the Rifter, right?
Yeah.
If the Rifter had been casually mentioned, and a shout out done to the guy, because clearly he appreciated the effort of whoever made that.
Yeah.
He was like, he really went out of his way to set this up, and now we're excited to offer it as a product. Done. I just did the entire part that should have been mentioned just now.
Yep.
And then if they took the ghost fitting, which we all know what it is, I mean,
Yep.
it's a fitting utility in game, but and they had spent 10 minutes and an entire slideshow on that, and whether you can ghost fit painted or unpainted ships, that would have been nice. I really would have enjoyed that. And that was what was so fucking weird is there was some content. Again, we don't know how much until we attend the roundtable, but
At this point, I'm just not going out of protest. Fuck their round. I'm not going.
there was clearly some content that could have been discussed, but it was mentioned in passing, and then like these products that were for sale were mentioned in immense detail. Like if the biggest cheer in the second half of that entire presentation was that the Knicks floated above magnets, I question how you've designed your keynote, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not that I was unhappy to be there, but I think it's very fair to walk out of there as people who have
I mean,
reasonable
the focus for
expectations,
anything like this, any sort of like hype up, like you're here, let's give you some reveals. It's like just give us like the next 3 to 6 months, like
as best you can,
as best
yeah.
as possible. I mean, I like with the structure thing. If you can't get the details, you got the roundtable, whatever. Just throw some more bones at us,
Yeah.
and I think the players would be happy.
Yeah, and then I don't know. It was. I think the avatar changing skins was supposed to be a big moment.
Yeah.
And it raised neither hairs nor hackles as far as I'm concerned. They changed it, and I was like, they went with that skin? Like, make it fucking yellow. Make it look like
the
an
most
Autobot.
exciting thing about that was the whole like decloaking animation to swap between skins.
Yeah, that synchronized Vexor swap was the moment I was like, okay, I can abuse this when
It's gonna be so fucking fun when you decide to shoot your court mates or whatever. You just like do a turncoat sort of animation. It's like he just went red. Ah! But yeah, it's that's pretty cool.
It is cool.
The
but
more I hear about the whole skin system, I'm pretty happy about it.
see, Bio isn't.
Well,
And I kind of, and the more he talked about it, the more I'm kind of with him. But I have mixed feelings. For me, if the core art is good, and we also talked about the high-res texture packs and about how non-impactful that is, and it's like a 5-second like ooh, and then no one ever notices it again because you're zoomed way the fuck out.
Well, yeah.
So we talked about that, and we talked about like it's unimportant in the fact that we actually enjoy playing the game, not sitting and spinning ships and being like I have the nicest.
Well, there's a lot of people that do though.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But we're a significant part of the player base who's at FanFest. We're not unique, the people at this table. The streaming is unique, but
statistically acknowledge that the people at FanFest are.
here's a graph to prove that I am right.
Yeah.
We're the professionals.
Yeah. So we're not unique in that the art is sort of a cool. It's icing on the cake, but we came for cake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can only put so much icing before I'm like, I'm gonna get like space diabetes. So my whole point is like
Diabetes,
the
that's
high res
killer.
texture pack Cool, but again, give that 10 seconds and be like, this is something some of you wanted, and you get the applause break from the people who've been asking. Awesome. It doesn't bother me at all. It enriches the game a little bit more. Let it go. And then they announced the skins, and I'm like, okay, I don't fucking buy skins. And then they announced like you can change skins in space. We spent time on that.
Yeah.
We scrolled through about like 50 skins.
102.
Oh, she scrolled through all of them?
I was afraid
She's
of her
got a
getting
muscular
carpet.
thumb, yeah.
She was swapping between hands.
Again,
Like hot potato.
there's nothing wrong with those, but it's in my mind, I can only enjoy content like that if you've already like tickled the gland in me that needed content, not just artwork. And the artwork is fantastic. I don't mean, but I didn't come to be like, well, we've made this game slightly more aesthetic if you zoom way the fuck in. I'm like, I would rather you do the demonstration of mooring a Nyx. Even if it will never happen and they have to hire out like a third-party company to just make it look like Eve.
I mean, like
I would have been like,
again with the whole structure thing. I mean, that's where the excitement was, where everyone's kind of like blown away. It's like, okay, this is something to be happy about. I remarked to Toss at the end of it, if there is one thing that is going to knock Saab out of the water, it would be like giving some like solid details, like, okay, this is what we're looking for with the new structures. And
even all the Entosis stuff is out, right? So they have this on Tuesday. This is coming out, and I understand that they don't want to get up on a keynote.
Is it Tuesday
stage.
or April?
They said, they said the next update is on Tuesday. Scylla is released on Tuesday, and then I think you're right. The next stuff is in April.
But the Saab is actually coming out in April.
Sure, so I realize most people are aware of what's happening.
28th of April.
Or 18th, something like that. It's April.
There's an 8. I realize that most people are aware of it and they've read it, and if you really want to find out more, you can go home and open your laptop and learn everything you need to know. They don't need to tell you from that stage. But by the same token, if the Rifter comes painted or unpainted, if you're spending time on that, why wouldn't you go into detail? Because just getting a rise out of the crowd would have been nice for the changes. If they had mentioned and like showed capturing a point, even if it just looks like a faction warfare beacon, people would have fucking applauded.
Yeah,
because that's still content based.
This whole thing of like, oh, well, we don't do detail in this presentation. I'm like, bullshit. You're like telling me whether or not the Rifter thing comes painted or unpainted.
Yeah,
like, that's fucking.
In fact, the word detail was used about 20 times in that exact presentation.
So like, I don't buy that shit, and that's my biggest frustration.
Right,
like there is detail. It was the wrong detail.
Again, and it's a level of what's valuable, urgent content. If you have a million things that are all a 10 out of 10 on the like urgency, important, they'll want to know this scale, then go through them quickly to make your time. Yeah. But if you have those disparities where it's like, okay, this is cool, but you know, it's either a niche thing or it's just like an ancillary, like buying a Rifter. If that's at a 2 and the structures are at a 10, they should not get equal time on the screen. Mm-hmm. And it does.
And worst of all, they should not get unequal time in the
opposite direction. And that's exactly what happened. And that was my whole point, is how they allocated that time. I feel like they didn't really sit down and think like, how much content is really here? And is that 20 minutes versus the next 20 minutes? Is there going to be that awkward pause like, what is happening? And again, I started this and I didn't finish it, but I looked at Swiv at one point after the, I think it was after the Nyx, the levitating Nyx. Yeah. And I was like, all right, here it comes.
Yeah.
I literally said it.
I hear the big, the drop is coming.
I thought the fucking bomb was going to drop. And I was like, yes, this is why I wanted to be in Iceland for the moment that they're like, and now look what I can do.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. Are your balls bluer than that hat right now?
They really are, yeah. And I also kicked myself in those blue balls repeatedly last night via a cocktail.
5R8. That's what a lot of us were talking about. A whole Cleaver, especially. Like this sounded like 50 to 60% marketing. Like talking about here's some things on the side that you can buy in addition to playing your game.
And it should be mentioned that the profits from any of those ancillary purchases are not going to amount to a whole lot.
No.
Yeah. So this is not like
a lot of them were third parties.
Yeah, and
this thing, the skin stuff, at least that goes into Eve and can be used to like fund new team stuff. But the models aren't even going to.
Okay,
CCP.
so let's assume CCP makes like a ton of money by percentage off of each one of those. Based on let's assume they make 100% of the profit off of those even. It's still not going to be game-changing amounts of money. Doesn't matter how many thousands of those books you sell. It's not going to change how the company works or how many people you can hire. What will is how many subscriptions you can retain and encourage by being like, look at me mooring this fucking Nix. And that's where I just like take off my belt and start like swinging it around.
Yeah.
I don't even fucking own a Nix. I don't care at all.
We're doing away from
suddenly
from
I'm like,
and now we have mooring.
Suddenly
what
this-
is mooring? Holy
yeah,
shit.
This is where I can get on the stream and be like, yeah, motherfuckers, I was there when they did the demo. Like, suck a dick. Now I'm just like, the Rifter had so much detail. You guys could not see it at home. On
And
that,
it comes unpainted.
on that projector screen, so much detail. An uncomfortable level of detail. I was like, my God, where does the detail stop? Tell me more. And also, what are the painting options? And right as I was thinking that, he's like, it also comes unpainted up. I'm done. I fucking take my pass. This is all I came for. I will not return to Harpa. No, I mean, I hate to be cynical about it, but yeah, it would be dishonest to be like, oh yeah, guys, it was totally worth going to that.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of things worth being here for, and that's not what we're saying.
So dinner at Cole and
So
and the bar.
The
bars
shellfish is
afterward.
amazing. No,
That was pretty much it.
there's plenty of reasons to be here for FanFest.
Oh yeah.
But that keynote in specific is not one of those reasons.
And one thing I also found was kind of interesting. This is our first FanFest. I think the only person that really had multiple FanFests is not here with us right now with the Euro team. That was Whole Cleaver. And from what I got,
Make it sound like he died.
Well, he's probably at FanFest.
He's no longer with us.
Yeah.
Probably actually.
We'll be going into the Valhalla with him shortly, Harpa. But like they've kind of gone away from their normal approach to revealing stuff. So in the past they'd space the stuff over several days.
Yeah.
So this is something new for them, and they also with their release cycle, like they stressed this during the keynote with the release cycles. Like, we don't really have big stuff to give you, so this is what we kind of have like ideas of. We're selling this too,
Which is very good for the gameplay itself, to have this constantly gradually evolving thing.
Oh, yes.
Not this like shock, but it's not great from a publicity standpoint.
No.
Because you can't market like, oh, you're not excited about Eve? Look at these 8 minor things that have changed in the past 2 months. Nobody gets excited over that. But in terms of gameplay, it's great because it's not like that moment where it's like, you know, we're on TeamSpeak and you're like, okay, so there's the Talos is coming out. They're introducing tier 3 battle cruisers. You remember people were like freaking out about it. Like, we didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So like people are like, okay, I'm just gonna buy like 1 million right off the bat because they're gonna be.
I mean,
like
hell,
that shock, it makes it really difficult.
something as small as
spreading
say
it out.
like the new T3 Decis. What if they just said, and here's the new T3
know-
Decis.
everyone
This is
knows
what they're
that
gonna
two
look
more
like.
Like,
And
But
this
what
one
races
doesn't.
would they be? I don't know. I don't know.
God.
Like even fucking silhouettes. Guess which one's which?
Yeah. Well, but here's the question: is do they already have the art for it? Because that could impede the.
You gotta figure that.
I would think it would have been done.
The first one they had
Sure.
the concept
But
art.
but then again, with the rapid way they're releasing things, as long as their art team can confidently say like we can easily do it in 2 weeks, and you've given us much more than that, I think they will have. I think they will have the art already done. But if they didn't, that would certainly influence why they didn't include that in the.
I don't know if they've mentioned again. Like we were only there for the keynote. There's a little bit of roundtables and stuff earlier in the day that we only had one dude that was able to attend any of that
Yes,
stuff.
it's being shown tomorrow at the art panel in Perry says.
Who is the Bluehead streaming?
The blue head?
Dude.
But okay, so if they're already gonna show it at the art panel, like, why not just like
Why not tease it?
Two frames,
Yeah.
frames, just like.
That's where she's like,
Subliminal
"Quick, quick."
message.
Yeah.
Just flash it up
Yeah,
for a
you could have
second.
just slipped it in with the skins and not even said anything. That would have been fucking awesome. If they had just like when they were flicking through ship skins, just slipped in the
Yeah.
two.
There's the
T3s.
incursives.
I've never
there's
seen
not
that
even-
before.
just
What
not
was
even
that last
acknowledge
one?
it.
There's the
Go
incursives.
back
Like,
5.
Was that just? What did we just?
And
see
it
there?
better if she's even saying like, here's the incursus, the Vexer, the new Dominix skin, the new tier 3
Was that
destroyer.
from Star Wars?
Yeah, like, yeah.
That
Moving through like, wait, what? Oh, sorry, the fucking back button is broke. I
Your
can't go
Bigfoot
back.
in there, yeah.
Just slip those.
I'm the 4th member of the Blue Man group. Is the Bluehead streaming? Because he should, I'll sub. Oh, Toothy. You and me, buddy. Together we'll take over the world. Please donate, but not on this stream. I do stream. Somebody can probably link, my
Again.
stream
So
if
the
that
group
could
we
be.
have right now, we're like pretty much streamers all entire. So my name is Sardcade. I'm the guy that's running the channel, the host of the
hosting
channel.
it, yeah.
This is Sir Squeebles. He runs his own stream on Twitch TV. He is the CEO of YouHeard, which is pretty sure you heard, a stream corporation that was founded off like his stream viewers. We have Biohazard, another member of You Heard. He also has his own stream. Dantessi over here occasionally streams. It's been a while since you.
I did one before I left.
Yeah.
Okay, he did one.
He's more intermittent. But
Intermittent, yeah. Like another thing to note is that we were all part of the Neo 2, and we placed third. So
well, we
and
stopped,
streamed
we
it
stopped
all.
short. So there's no other streamers at the table right now. But Lucky, also You Hurt, TSO, also You Hurt, and then Swivant. God damn.
Almost not even worth mentioning.
I would like to move the camera around, but the last couple times we did that, we'd lose connection.
Which one is Matt Annie? Technically, that would be me now as well. Yeah. I'm
You've
consuming
assumed his
people.
power.
Have you seen the movie The One with Jet Li?
Well, there's a lot of cats around there, so we could get one and could.
Just like the Mina the Myth, he says. I know what you meant, but I like Mina. So are we done with the Eve bit?
We're done with the Eve bit.
I think we could beat this
Anything
game.
to add to last night's
well-
broadcast?
Well, okay, so yeah, I think we could mention a few things about last night. I just want to make sure we're firmly out of Eve territory before we
Yes,
go into
we're done for that.
For those of you guys that watch because I always like seeing a quick scrolling chat. For those of you that watched the keynote yesterday, even if you just got to watch part, on a scale of 1 to 10, just rate your initial reaction to it. I feel like maybe we've tainted opinions. We should have done it at the beginning. Because obviously we're being tough critics on it. Because, I had expectations of where I'm at.
We didn't invest a lot of money to see this in person.
No, but I'm curious because
here anyway.
it didn't cater to my tastes, but maybe it did to somebody else's. And that's why I'm curious if we see some 2 out of 10s and then there's occasional like 9 or 10 out of 10, then that would sort of change the story that will exist in my mind. So just give it a rating if you would, if you got to watch the keynote. What are we at? Oh, okay, so that explains. Okay.
Well, it's
everybody's
super.
asleep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
super
yeah.
early.
I know.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm asking if
And
anybody
all the
saw
Europeans
it.
are working. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the people here,
We are in Europe. No one around here works.
from what I've seen, a 6, 8, 8,
Eight,
3.
really?
See, so that's my point. Is like
That's kind of
Fortinbras, he's Norwegian, he doesn't count. 6, 7. So these are pretty consistently high scores, which tells me that, the things
we're
that
the outliers.
the devs,
not
the
them.
devs that we did bother after the presentation, who were like, wasn't making excuses, but it was playing the devil's advocate to what we were saying. Like,
Sure.
you should go to maybe they were right, But again, I'm
No, they weren't.
it's unlikely to change my opinion of it because I know how I felt sitting in Harpa. But by the same token, if other people enjoyed it and it whet their appetite enough, then mission success for CCP.
Yeah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
And that's what's important.
Yeah, 7.5, 7, definitely an 8 out of 10. Like, people liked it.
Pretty consistently
But
high.
our group are on
Yeah,
the other
we-
end of the scale.
we're-
Yeah.
here,
We're
so.
yeah.
We're the
Oh.
fucking professionals, damn it.
Toothy, I absolutely agree. The structures thing is the big part.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
But it was a little too vague for us to really like sink our teeth into. But there's the round table.
Which I will go to, and if it's absolutely garbage,
So
That'll be on tomorrow's cold pizza. Yeah.
just pound it right in the
I have a dev that I need to.
So we all right. So moving on to the social element of
Yes.
yesterday, right?
I
So we
fell
streamed,
asleep.
yeah, multiple times, everywhere.
Everywhere.
For those who don't know, in the evenings, something that cannot become a regular thing, but if we stream in the evenings when we're really fucking drunk, we're calling it hot pizza. And that happened last night, which is why I look and sound the way that I do.
Yes.
And we were sitting at this exact table, shit hammered, and things got pretty mean pretty quick. So that happened. I don't know if the recording, I assume, exists somewhere, probably on my Twitch page.
I would have that one locally, and it'd be on yours. Yes.
I'm not telling you to watch it, but it is there. And so we, what happened? We left Harpa. We had a dinner that we scheduled that was going to be like
Yes.
our one meal where we were all definitely
Yes.
going to be in the same place. It was in a nice restaurant called Cole, which is the same place I went with CCP when I was here for the Alliance tournament. Which it was really good. Like, Really good.
Very,
Again.
very good.
So we did a 6-course that turned into a free 7-course.
Yes.
Because I guess they just really liked us, and they were like, "Oh, we didn't mean to bring you that last dish." And I was like,
What was the one they didn't mean to bring?
The
eel.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
it was one of the best ones.
Yeah. Like 1 or 2 dishes.
So
right?
as opposed to just being like, "Oh, we already took them a dish. Let's consider that their second course." She literally came out and was like, "You weren't supposed to get that, so that one's just free. We're just adding that in." Like, if you didn't say anything, nobody
And
would
on
have
top
known.
of it, a bunch of us had the wine pairings. So just like, oh yeah, well, because everybody finished the wine with that mistaken
like-
meal. She's like, oh, we'll just bring some more back for you.
And I like that she was like, "Yeah, I actually paired the wine with the course you were supposed to get, not the eel that we brought out." And I just want to think in the back of her mind, she's like, "You fucking filthy dogs! You didn't realize that Chardonnay was not meant for that dish."
I mean, I did, but I wasn't gonna say
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
I didn't want to hurt her feelings.
Of course.
Her little Icelandic feelings. Let's run through the dishes as briefly as we can. We had Icelandic char and like
Broth of bonito.
bonito broth, right? Which was pretty good, but like the fish was good, the broth, meh, take it or leave it.
Well, it was broth.
The broth was served cold. That was what
Yeah.
got
Yeah,
to
it was
me.
interesting.
Yeah.
It was kind of like
the
an
second-
Icelandic gazpacho.
It wasn't at all.
It's cold.
And suddenly, I'm starting to doubt your first class nature. You telling me you've never had bread soup?
No, I haven't. It's cold.
You seem uncomfortable. You doing okay? You couldn't pick a fucking gazpacho out if it murdered your uncle. Okay, so we just found out that Swiv is a classless bastard. No, and then the second unintentional dish was the eel smoked with applewood bacon,
And it was-
crispy onion pieces, and dill cream. And I was sitting there just like, "Don't look at me. Anybody, don't look at me." Paired with a wine that did not go well at all because it was not intended to be paired with that eel, and I could tell because I have a discerning palate. The rest of you probably had no fucking clue what was happening. So no, and then they bring out
the bird. What was it called?
The peg.
Alexander Skarsgård.
Targum.
Oh
yeah.
no, that's the name of it. I thought it was
Ptarmigan, yeah.
Alexander Skarsgård. So they brought out ptarmigan, and which Hull later said is like eating an asshole. But it was really good.
It was
Actually, everybody enjoyed it.
Wasn't that the ptarmigan have the molasses?
No, that
No,
was
No, that was the
salt.
cod.
That was good. Okay.
So the
sorry.
next dish, and keep in mind there's a different wine pairing for each of these dishes, and we had a cocktail before, and Lucky probably had about 8 shots before he walked out of the pet shop. So
And 10 beers on it.
yeah, you were sweating in heartburn. I was like, that is straight booze. We had the ptarmigan, and then there was a cod with like a really what?
Barley and molasses.
It was
Barley
quinoa and
Was it
molasses,
salted cod?
lightly salted.
Yeah.
Well, no.
No, it's salted. Oh no, what was the broth in that one though? You remember?
Oh,
I don't
I
know.
didn't pick up.
did they use the
They
dill
she
thing
she
again?
no no
Or
no. She said what type of broth it was because it was a consomme.
Yeah.
That's what it was. A consomme of an ambiguous type, fish consomme probably. As Hull said, it's one of those bouillon cubes that they crushed up in the back. And then where did we go from there? Did we go straight to the
I
lamb?
think it was the lamb.
Yeah,
That
I
was
think
lamb, then
with
dessert.
the
Yeah.
Yeah, lamb.
rutabaga
That was
and
really good though.
goat cheese.
lamb.
What was the goat?
Oh, yeah.
Goat cheese
Oh, the
polenta.
goat cheese polenta.
Yeah.
Fuck me, that was
Yeah.
good.
You mean the cheese
Literally,
grits?
I would. No, they're not grits. I would let that polenta do whatever it wanted to. Like any night of the week in public, I would. I would have sex with a bowl of that
good.
polenta.
That was great.
It was very good.
Yeah, it was good. And then there's some chocolate and caramel bullshit. But
The mango ice cream. though.
Yeah.
Mango ice
yeah.
Mango ice
and
cream.
then we had we all ordered espresso, right? So we ordered 6 espressos, and on the 6th, it's Lucky, and he's like, "Can I get some Baileys in that?" And then she was like, "Yeah, sure." And then one other person overheard it, and they were like, "I'll have a Baileys as
I think
well."
it was me.
So then we just went back down the line of like, "Yeah, put Baileys."
I
in
mean,
there."
that was the case of the wine pairings, and Theo just kept on mentioning. The longer you stay here, the more of us that are going to
Yeah.
have the wine pairing with the food.
She just kept standing there, and one of us would be like, "Yeah, I'll do it."
Yeah.
And then she would stand there as she's writing it. Somebody else would be like,
Yeah.
"No, So I was like, can you please get away? You're costing our table an inordinate amount of money right now. But it was good. And Swiv looked at one of the wine bottles after it was empty and then tried to condescend to me about the fact that I didn't read the wine bottle.
Well, no, it was the Sauvignon Blanc. I was wanted to know where.
And apparently the winery was called Petite.
Yeah.
You still stand by that the winery was called Petite.
Well, no, it had. I mean, there was something.
You realize
else
that Petite is a type of grape.
a Petite Syrah, yes.
You're telling me there's no Petite Cabernet Sauvignon?
It was a Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, yeah. That's what
But no, there's not a Petite Cab Sauvignon or Sauvignon Blanc. The only Petite grape is.
This is a man who can't identify a fucking gazpacho. We're not having this conversation right now. All right, I'm looking it up for what it's worth. It's a point of contention. He and I slept in separate beds last night because we couldn't move past what had happened. Oh, ooh. Need more tiny Patron bottles this morning.
I have like.
Did you go home with the 50-year-olds? Carson wants to know.
No.
No, but
Look at
you made some new friends as soon as we left the restaurant.
Yeah.
and then we're just gone. We
No,
I
I
have
was.
no idea of what happened there,
Well,
and we ended up. Where were we? Where were we?
Last night?
Like, was
Lebowski.
it the group that was immediately out of Cole? That
yeah.
I know at least one of those guys was an Eve player.
Yeah, one of the guys was an Eve player.
Yeah.
Wait, just
one
one?
of the.
Yeah, this guy with long hair. He was
Yeah.
actually on my flight from Seattle to.
Oh yeah, the
Iceland.
guy with the
Yeah.
I remember saying that.
Yeah.
And one wife, one girlfriend, one free agent.
One wife.
He'll play for whatever team
It
pays
is
the
right.
most on that night.
So was walking them, didn't actually realize that I left you. So they were going to a bar, and I said, probably shouldn't go out drinking more if I want
You
to
were
have a.
responsible.
Yeah.
Actually, I was.
He came in
So,
on house at
this is
12:30.
a turd.
Yeah, so I actually went back
Wow.
home to hopefully have a good day today because I've been
And-
really hangover today.
Yeah.
We
And
spanned
then-
some wheels. Things
Yeah,
got
so
ugly.
we like I don't know how the conversation came up.
Did you find that Petite Sauvignon Blanc? over
Yes,
there?
it is multiple places offer a Petite Sauvignon Blanc.
Good
However,
day.
the Wikipedia on my phone is not as easy to navigate as I had once hoped. So, moving on. Somebody get this man a bowl of what was it?
Cheerios.
No, not the gazpacho. What the consomme?
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy a block of like beef.
Bullying Hughes.
I'm not sure what this gesture means. Why I oughta. All right, moving on. So we asked the.
Thank you,
Well, I don't know that we even asked, but they told us before we left at Cole. They're like, Thursday night, Lebowski Bar is the place, and we're like, oh, okay. And then I think I asked you, have you ever had a White Russian? And
No.
from there, I was pretty much sold.
Yeah.
So I'm from
Yeah.
Louisville, which is the home of Lebowski Fest. The movie is a religion down in those parts. So I knew what I was expecting, and so we walk down there, walk in. I order a White Russian, and then I look behind the bar, and there's a giant wheel mounted. Which this might be a common gimmick in some places, but it's not where I'm from. There's a giant wheel, and written on it is like 4 beers, 10 beers, 4 shots, spin again, strike out, that sort of thing. Because it's all Lebowski themed. There's bowling shit everywhere, you know. And so we're like, I was talking to Bio about it, and he's like, yeah, you pay a flat price, and you
Yeah.
spin the wheel, and you get whatever comes up. And as soon as we realized that, I was like, this is going to be a long night.
Yeah.
We
Well,
went for
actually, pretty much everybody ordered by that point. Everybody
we
had
went,
a drink.
we
in
went
front
for
of them.
one drink after dinner, just to sort of stretch our legs, and then,
Just
then
the
we're...
tip, just for a bit.
Yeah.
just to see how often.
Yeah. So then, as soon as we saw the wheel, and they were like, "Oh, it's 2,000 to spin the wheel," like, God damn it.
No, Theckel's over at the harbor right now.
Yeah,
So he starts, or he
I
pays
guess-
to spin the wheel.
we got spin again.
Yes, and we were like, okay, we can work with this.
Yeah. 4 beers, which I don't even know what they were serving.
They were literally just pouring off of open taps.
Yeah, it
They-
was
they-
just what. Yeah,
It was
whatever
different
there.
because those
Because they're
beers
all-
were very different.
Yeah, all 4 of them weren't even the same color. They
No,
were
Yeah.
no.
different
So they just lay out 4 beers.
Yeah.
So I take one.
Yeah,
then
Tessie,
the
how was
others
the
in
eclipse?
It was spot on.
Yeah.
It was great.
Okay, can he finish the story? Sorry, do you mind?
Go on.
So Hulk Cleaver decides to spin, gets a spin again, gets another 4 beers. He grabs one, and we just leave. The rest of the beers are just sitting in the bar, pretty much in front of you and I and Swiv.
Yeah, and we were like, we have to drink.
And everybody
these.
else already had drinks by that point. So
Yeah.
And then this social justice warrior over here is like, those beers can't be left in this world to fend for themselves.
I care about beer rights. And so I was like, all right, let's accelerate this drinking. So we played the true or false drinking game, which worked quite well, except for Swift doesn't know when to ramble and when not to ramble.
Right.
So he would be like, true or false, I've once rode a dolphin into the sunset in Santa Monica, whatever. And we're like, true, false, false. And he's like, it's true. Actually,
Here's the best
fun fact about porpoises, and we're like, no, this is not how this works. So we had to rudely cut him off in order to keep the beer drinking at a hardcore pace. And then we walked out, and they locked us out because they were
Yes.
closing, and we were like, we have beer in there. And they're like, all right, open it up, be quick. So you're like, go. Then we came here. We actually were gonna walk down to Nora, but it was supposed to close at 1 a.m. as well on weeknights. Every place I think, is,
Yep.
other than the shady Russian sex club. And so we walked over to our house. We had run into Darwin at Lebowski. We ran into a guy that was waiting on us in Cole, or was waiting on somebody in Cole at Lebowski, and we handed him a beer. We ran into Thekla at Lebowski. So literally walking up Lebowski, and we're like, 3 people we don't dislike. This is not gonna end well. So we actually came back to the house, and we dragged Darwin along, and we were like, "Hey, we have various liquors," and I guess he's been deprived some liquors while he's been here.
The way he
Yeah.
those bottles.
He
Yeah.
had starting off at Lebowski. He had 4 White Russians.
Did he really? I thought you were joking when you
No.
said that. Holy God!
No, he was flying through him over there.
He had the wine pairings and everything as well at Cole
At
because they were
Cole,
doing
yeah.
the other dinner there.
Yeah, and then you have hot pizza.
Yeah.
And that ended.
That Patron Patron bottle.
Yeah, but he drank.
I didn't
the remainder.
No one
of
drank
bottle
from
of
that.
Maker's Mark and an entire.
Yeah.
Like it went through the bottle into Darwin's hand. I'm assuming.
I don't know how that happened. I just looked and it was gone.
Yeah.
It was alarming because we had seen him earlier in the day at Harpa, and we were like, "Hey, what's up?" And we chatted with him for a while, and all was well. And he seemed very like on point.
I had a drink all day today.
Yeah, and then later in the
Making
night,
up for lost time.
somehow he ends up back here, just like sitting at this table, giggling into the microphone, just like. I was like, are you okay? Or
It would
we...
take every 10 minutes or so, you'd have a little makeout session. And you'd be because it has such a hard time getting their voices up from a normal distance.
Oh God. For
So,
those
sorry,
that
you're gonna want to wash that before you take it home.
what?
He
The
just
microphone cover.
The pop
Takes-
filter.
yeah.
disposable.
Yes, Dantessi, Bio, Squeebs, Sarb. For those asking.
He kept grabbing
So
the mic
lucky.
and whispering sweet nothings.
Yes, he did.
Very true. Yeah.
Well,
All right. Well, I guess to wrap up here, we're coming
Yeah.
to a close. I mean, Zaz and I, you can also look at the hot pizza stuff if you
or don't.
or don't
yeah.
over at Squeeble's stream.
It's one of those things you should either be there for or pretend.
It's more of a live experience for certain. So what we're going to be doing today, this guy's going to be commentating for the Worlds Collide. We're all going to be heading over to the Harpa fairly soon. Go for some of the round tables. We have our own round table on streaming communities. Our plan is to kind of set up this laptop. What I'm intending to do is just kind of show the video of us. We're going to answer questions. We're just going to talk about streaming for about 45 minutes an hour. And we can't stream it, but we're going to record it, and I'll probably rebroadcast it after the fact.
I have points to add.
Go for it.
As part of that, we were hoping to stream it so you guys could interact even if you
Yeah.
couldn't make it here to FanFest. That's not going to work for a number of reasons, and we respect the sort of
Technical
limitations.
difficulties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really not somebody being stuffy about it. Like there's technical.
It's just
difficulties.
very, very.
The Worlds Collide is being streamed today at 5 o'clock GMT.
But I was going to say, if you would like to participate in that roundtable and you have questions, obviously you're not going to be able to hear us in real time. But if you have questions about the streaming community, things you want to ask us, We did at literally any one of the people who has a Twitter at this table, and we'll all have our phones and Wi-Fi and HARPA.
Well,
So if you
may have Wi-Fi. Yeah.
no, we should.
No, we do.
If you
I was
want
on it.
to ask something or you
I
think
can
that
get on this
there's
thing.
something important to discuss
Do you wanna
with
throw
all of
our-
us sitting at
our,
a table,
Twitter handles
let us
in
know.
Chat.
Also, about the Worlds Collide, and then I'm going to be done talking. We're in Harpa after the keynote yesterday, and I'm just standing in a circle, and we're kind of like chatting about things. And then CCP Gargant comes over, and you immediately notice Gargant. He can't sneak into places. He's fucking huge.
I felt like a child.
Yeah, a lot of people think he's not
like
that
a lot of these
tall.
guys
He
in this
is
group
that
are
tall.
like around 6 foot, and we felt like children. At
Yeah.
least I felt like a child.
He is gigantic. So, anyways, hence the name. He comes over. He's like, "Oh, I thought I recognized that voice," and it was really the first dev who was not too busy to notice. Because like a few people, I didn't want to go up and bother them because I know they've been being talked to by people all day. So Gargant like swings over. I'm like, "Hey, buddy! Since the Alliance tournament, we haven't talked that much." And I am in a Skype call where I occasionally like bother him about things, or he'll ask general questions about like, "Hey, you know, what'd you guys think about the dev notes or whatever?" And he comes up and he's like, "All right, so you ready for tomorrow?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this round table is gonna be kind of fun." And he's like, No, the tournament. You're still commentating, right? I was like,
What?
yeah. And then I remembered 3 months prior, I was asked to commentate, and I was like, yes. And then I logged out of Skype until that time. So there might have been updates, but he just came out, was like, tomorrow. And I was like,
So I'll like before even heading out here, I was talking to Squeebles like, has CCP approached you at all for this? Like,
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
I was
and,
like,
because
no,
I mean,
no.
I've been talking to Lastel, and Lastel, he's known for weeks,
Mm.
and this guy's like, I have no idea. And then like after the fact, when we're talking to Gargant, he's like, wait, I haven't had Skype on for the past month. And then he turns on Skype's like 400 messages.
Yeah. So anyways, my commentary, I might not have as much background information as other people. All I can promise you, if you need any animal facts during the stream or any like, sort of noises, that's what I'm going to be there for. So expect some color
Yes.
commentary with not a great deal of substance, and I will let Laz do the heavy lifting.
So very
And he
similar
lifts,
to-
so you will have that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's the plan for the next few hours. And obviously after that, drinks, bars. After the fact,
Pub crawl is today.
pub crawl is tonight. Yeah. So we're not going to be going to the pub crawl. I think we have Lucky that may be going along with pub
I think
crawl.
there were 3 persons who bought
You,
tickets.
There's a couple.
So CC
Okay, there's a
CCP
couple of our groups.
CCP Rise will be hanging out with us later tonight, hopefully for some hot pizza.
Okay.
Maybe Hilmar.
Maybe.
Hilmar.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But we'll be hanging out at just a couple of the bars that pub crawl will be heading to, but not so much running around that crowd.
You got to do this spin and wave technique for signing off. I like that technique. It's nice.
Okay, yeah, we can try that.
Just
So
don't-
anyway, guys, that's gonna be
Slow
it,
pan. Start it.
and we will see you later. So
Bye.
from Iceland, from Fanfest, Reykjavik, Iceland.
Have a very good time. All
Fare thee
right.
well.
All right. Shut it. We don't. Oh God. Oh,
Take
I'm
it
jammed.
away.
I'm